welcome to another episode of You Know
Ball, baby!
Brought to you by the Run the Play
Network.
I'm your host, Anthony. To my right, I got the guy, Philly Phil, in the building. Phil, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's been busy, but it's been a good week. We just pulled off a crazy trade.
We did.
We pulled off a crazy trade in fantasy.
We did.
You want to read it? I'll tell him. I gave Anthony.
Real quick, this is a dynasty basketball league. Let's
Yeah,
put that
yeah,
out
yeah.
there. Not traditional. Okay, go ahead.
I traded Anthony, Denny Advia, Bub Carrington, and 4 first-round picks for SGA. I had to do it, man. I'm still kind of sad, but at the same time, I got SGA back because I love Carlton Carrington. I loved him. I kept on telling a lot of people no. A lot of people. But then right when I heard SGA was available, I was like, I'm going to give.
Hold up. You didn't hear SGA was available. You just asked me.
I asked him if SGA was available.
I was like, I mean, everybody got a price.
Everybody mad in the group chat right now, but I thought that was a fun moment to share real quick.
Can you explain it for the group chat? And I guess the people at home too. Like, reason it so that they can understand why you did it.
I did it because, well, one, I need a point guard. I got Fred VanVleet and Stig and Chris Paul, and they're old, and they're definitely going to die out. And I was nervous about drafting guards. That's why I was looking at Walter Clayton Jr. and Stig and all these other guys. But I was like, shoot, let me ask real quick on Stig and SGA. And then I was thinking, what can I sacrifice? And I was like, I got all these picks. Like, I should be sacrificing them. And then I know I got to give some young players. So Denny Advia, Brody is a stat patter in Stig in Portland. I gotta offer him easily, but then I gotta add a little bit more juice to make it like
Undeniable.
undeniable. Thank you. So I looked at Carrington, who was my third best in my opinion point guard besides DeJounte Murray, but he's iffy on injuries and stuff. And I was like, this guy can make a career in Washington. And Washington, the opportunity's there for him. Opportunity's there for that to be his team to control.
No. You're doing this wrong, though, bro.
How am I doing it?
Because you're gassing up my guys. I need you to say why it works for your team.
Well, I mean, it's SGA.
Talk about why you scammed me.
How was that a scam?
I don't know, but just do it.
Bro, I gave you youth and 4 first-round picks for SGA.
They mad at you, bro. I'm trying to
They
save
can be mad
you.
at me. You know how many times I still get try to trade with these fools, and they over here like, nah, I'm going to need another first. Nah, I'm going to need this player. I even offered DeMontis Sabonis for sticking Denny with 2 first-round picks for Jokic, and I still got node for sticking what? Sticking Shaden Sharp and sticking role players? Yeah, all right. I want them to be mad at me. I want them to be.
You the villain of the league now.
I hope I'm the villain of the league. If Seth ain't the villain of the league, getting sticking Jokic for that crap, he only traded 1 first for him.
Luka.
1 first. I
got
gave you
Luka.
4.
I'm not complaining.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't be mad at me. I didn't call you a villain. We on the same team, dog.
Nah, it's cool. Yeah.
We good run it, baby.
But I'm just saying, if the group chat want to be mad at me, by all means be mad at me, bro. By all means. I enjoyed this draft. I enjoyed it.
All right, well, today on the show, other than that fantasy basketball spiel, we're going to be talking about a little bit of what the Thunder need to do in the offseason, what the Lakers need to do in the offseason. We're going to be talking about the biggest winner and the biggest loser of the draft, and then some of the offseason moves that happened, including Al Horford, what's going to happen with him, Miles Turner, MPJ and the Nuggets, and potentially the Hawks. Now, if we run out of time, I'm sorry, y'all, bless up, but we could save that for a live show. We've been doing daily live shows over on our YouTube channel. You could obviously subscribe here, hit that bell to see when we're doing it. It's pretty much 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, and we're just talking ball. We talked about, what did we talk about this week? We talked about Dave Roberts. We talked about World Series predictions. We talked about Skeens versus The Miz, if you know who that is in baseball. We talked about Miles Turner and the Bucks. I gave you guys my Rookie of the Year predictions in football. What did we talk about today, Phil?
We talked about the Lakers getting DeAndre Ayton and then most likely trying to get Wiggins, but also how important Al Horford is. And then a little bit of it.
Tomorrow, or I'm guessing this is out today, I'm going to be debating my dad on LeBron versus Jordan. So all of that I just said was in 1 week. So if you want to see all of that, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell. Obviously, we got bangers for you guys. I mean, we're cooking up some fire content up here. But Phil, what you think? I mean, we talked a lot about the Lakers today, but what you think the Lakers need to do?
From this point on, we got our big man finally finally got a big man. I'm not gonna make it sound like he's like the pinnacle of like what we needed and he's gonna instantly be a championship contender, but we got a big man. So from this point on, we need to get 3-and-D type players in the backup big. Like I know that's that's easier said than done because 3-and-D players are coveted in the league today, but that's literally what we need. Like, and I also think either Reeves or Hachimura needs to be traded in order for that to happen. One or the other.
Yeah.
It has to be that. But yeah, I'd say that's the game plan. But I love the fact that we can build around Luka and Aiden for the future. Like,
Yeah.
I love that.
Same class, so their ages line up. So exactly, that's perfect for
Exactly.
the future development.
The number 1 and number 3 pick.
Yeah, it is kind of wild to think about.
That's nuts.
Who's
man.
the number 2 pick?
Number 2 it wasn't Marvin Bagley.
It was Marvin Bagley.
It was Marvin Bagley.
Yeah. Marvin Bagley was number
The
2.
Kings are funny, man.
Hey, I'm not gonna clown them because Bagley was so good.
He
in
was
college,
good,
bro.
but the Kings are funny for that.
It sucks looking back, but bro, I'm telling y'all, man, Marvin Bagley was arguably the number 1 pick that year. So I'm gonna give him his flowers. But as far as the Thunder go, I kind of wish we added some more 3-point shooting, and I feel like that's kind of out the window now. So it's kind of just hoping that next season works out. Like that's just what it is now. There's no real major moves that I think we can make that would affect how I feel. You know. So I'm cool just running it back. We won a championship. Fuck it, we ball. Simple as that.
And you got Thomas Sorber.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously an addition, right? And I'm happy that we had him. I wasn't as high on him, but I do think the fit there, and I think that we developed guys great. And he's 18, so I mean he should develop right, you know.
I hope so, man. I got him in fantasy.
I got everything else in fantasy. Now before we get into the biggest winner and biggest loser of the NBA draft, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Boom Fantasy. Baseball's in full swing this summer, and if you're someone who knows ball, you need to check out Boom Fantasy. You could cash out if you predict things like hits, strikeouts, and RBIs. Boom's the only platform you could cash out 500 times your money on just a 2-leg parlay. If baseball isn't your thing, the WNBA is also in full swing this season, and there's a lot of superstars making their names for themselves. I've been loving cashing out on Angel Reese overs because everyone's just hating on her. If you never heard of this platform before, or if you don't know betting's for you, use code RTP for a risk-free bet up to $100. That's code RTP, and it's the best way to support this show. Let's get back to the video. All right, Phil. Biggest winner, biggest loser. Loser, I had a very hard time with.
Yeah.
Because I felt like every team actually did a very good job in this draft. But winner was fairly easy, I'll say. For me, I went with the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, Carter Bryant and Dylan Harper in the same draft class. Like, those are 2 cornerstone type of guys. And they fit perfectly next to your superstar center. And they have a young core already. Like, I just loved both those moves a lot. Now, if I had to give an honorable mention, I only have one, and it's the Charlotte Hornets. Because I think the Hornets did a very good job at drafting. Why are you laughing?
Though that was literally my winner was the Spurs and my honorable mention was the Charlotte Hornets. Like literally, I was hoping for you to say somebody else so I could be like the Spurs, but I'll talk about somebody else.
Okay,
I'll talk about somebody else as a winner.
I just like the Hornets because they landed. I feel like this whole LaMelo tenure and even a lot of the Kemba Walker time, they didn't have any role players around these guys. You had like one guy and then maybe a 2. But what the Hornets did very well is draft guys that aren't ceiling guys, but we know what Khan's going to do. We know what Kalkbrenner's going to do. We know that Liam McNeely's going to be able to shoot the ball. So now you have like a legit 8-man rotation finally in Charlotte. So I'm excited with what they did as well.
And also, I like the fact that they picked up Zion James. I really like Zion James. Like, not just because he's a Duke player, but because, like, the way he plays, it reminds me so much of Aaron Nesmith. He's 6'6", very defensive. He can switch onto bigs. He can't guard bigs, but he can hold himself down in one situation if he can, and he's a playmaker too.
I like his playmaking a lot. He's not the type to be like a point guard to set up the offense, but if he gets the ball and someone's open, he's elite at making that extra pass.
Exactly.
So I'm sorry for missing him.
No, you're good.
I'm excited that they got him too as well. Talk about what I just talked about.
Honestly, everything he said was true. The San Antonio Spurs did a very good job, and I'm very happy that I honestly wanted them to get Thomas Sorber, but when I saw Carter Bryant fall the way he did, right when they got Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant, or it showed it there, I was like, wow, that's incredible, especially with the Luke Cornett signing because now they have a 7-footer with Victor Wembanyama. I'm not saying that he's going to start, but the fact that he can come in, and there will be times that him and Wembanyama will be in together, but the fact that you have a 6'6" point guard in Dylan Harper who probably can play defense, but not the best. He'll develop it with the Spurs for sure. But then you have Carter Bryant, who is known for being a 3-and-D player, and I believe he's 6'8" or 6'9", but he can score, and he was a scorer in high school. So if they can unlock something in him, maybe even develop him into a Jaylen Brown of the future, which I can see for him, that is awesome by the Spurs. With the Charlotte Hornets, I love that too. I love them getting Conchanople, Sion James, Liam McNeely, and Kalkbrenner. But, like, the team I do want to mention, just to, like, you know, change it up and not be a broken record for you, I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
I really do. I was talking about it today on the morning show a little bit, but...
Run the day, baby.
Yep,
Every day.
run the day. But I do, like at first I was weirded out because they drafted Kamen Maluach, and I was like, what are you doing? But then they traded, because they traded for Mark Williams.
Yeah.
But then they're trying to trade Nick Richards, which I like. I like now the fact that it'll be Mark Williams and then Kamen Maluach as the backup. And then now you also traded up in the second round to get Rasheer Fleming. And Rasheer Fleming he was probably one of my favorite guys in this draft. But if you add him, who is a 3-4, possibly a 5, with Kamen Maluach, Mark Williams, Dylan Brooks, I don't know what the heck they're going to do with Bradley Beal, but then you have Jalen Green and Devin Booker, you have a recipe there that actually is pretty decent. Maybe try to get another veteran on that team, but the way that team is set up, it's good for the future, and it's also good for right now, and I like it.
The only thing that team is missing
Oh,
for
and
me
Ryan Dunn, my bad.
is a playmaker, like a real playmaker. Because Devin Booker played the point guard, and I want to say he played good as a point guard, but I don't think he was a good playmaker at the point guard position. Like, Brogdon's available. I think that would be a good signing for them. I just think they kind of need that, like, if this shit doesn't work, they don't have another option.
Yeah.
You know? I think they need a guy to come in there that'll make plays. And that would be the only thing that I think they're missing for me to, like, really be super hyped about this team.
I'm kind of sad, too, because then we were hearing stuff about Chris Paul deciding between the Suns and the Flippers, but apparently he wants to be a starter, so that's not going to work. Because then you have to slide. I mean, you have to start Jalen Green. You can't just keep him off the bench. Like
I would bench him.
Could you bench him?
I just don't like Devin Booker at the 1, if I'm being honest. I mean, it was fun while, like, he had to do it, but I just don't think it leads to a lot of wins. So I personally would start him. And Jalen Green, I think, could develop off the bench. I don't think Devin Booker and Jalen Green really fit next to each other, but they could play separately. It's very similar to me to, like, Luka and Reeves, where I don't think they could really play together, but I think separately they're both very good at basketball players.
If they can work that out with Jalen Green to have him come off the bench, then I'm totally fine with that.
Phoenix sign Markelle Fultz, please. Please. I love Markelle Fultz, man. He deserves a job. Talk about losers then. I don't want to steal your loser. I think we're going to have very different opinions.
We might. Thinking about it now, I had 2 losers, but then I'm not too angry after looking at the Bulls roster now about the Noah Sengun thing. I'm just a little, like, I feel like they should have gone the center pathway.
I knew you were going to pick them, too.
Well, honestly, that's not – I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
But I have another worse loser with that. But, like, I feel like they should have gone the center. Like, I like the idea of Thomas Sorber there. I like the idea of Danny Wolf there. And I even liked Asa Newell there, honestly. But maybe they could do something with Noah Sengun. Maybe they could develop him. I know you have Matas Buzelis and you still have Patrick Williams or something like that. But – he could probably grow something there. I feel like it's a 50-50 chance for him.
And that's why I like it a lot, because I first of all think that Asenge can play spot center minutes, which I think would be good because they don't really have a center. Like, he could play 10-15 minutes a game as a small ball 5. But me personally, if Chicago was thinking like me, I don't love Thomas Sorber. I don't love Danny Wolf. And who was the other guy you said?
Asa Newell.
And I like Asa Newell, but I just don't see the ceiling for him. I think Chicago's missing the face of the franchise, and Noah Asenge has a chance at being that. I don't think those other guys had a chance at that. Now, obviously, everyone scouts a little differently. So there's other teams that probably think like that. But, yeah, I think Asenge has that potential. Maybe he won't hit it, and I wouldn't be surprised if those other 3 guys are better than him. But I do think his ceiling's higher than those guys currently today.
Yeah. I think the number one loser for me was the Pelicans only because of that trade. Now,
Okay.
when they did trade for Derek Queen, I was like, oh, okay, they traded up and just switched picks. But hearing that the 2026 first round pick, their future 2026 first round pick that they own, went to the Hawks and the Hawks were still able to pick in this draft was when I was like, okay, that seems like a dumb trade to me, kind of. Because, I mean, Derek Queen is good. I like Derek Queen. But now you're saying that you don't even need the draft for next year. And the draft also for next year is really good. And you didn't even take the pick from the Atlanta Hawks for that. I would have tried to get both picks.
Like swap them.
Yeah, I would have tried to get both and then maybe get a Derek Queen with somebody else. But giving away a future 2026, a next year pick for him, I was kind of like, I don't know about that.
Now, I agree with you where I think like they overpaid for sure. But I would just feel like a jackass if I had them as a loser because Jeremiah Fears was my number 2 player and Dylan and Derek Queen was like my number 4 player. Like I would feel like a jackass because I ranked those guys so high, you know. So they drafted the guys I like. And honestly, I do think like we don't really know the Pelicans situation yet. I wouldn't. I think the Hawks won the trade, but let's say the Pelicans are good next year, and that pick ends up being like the 26th pick. Do we still feel the same way about the trade? I don't really think so. So that would be my thought.
I got you.
But my biggest loser was the Brooklyn Nets. Like for me, how do you draft 5 players and not one of them I love? You know,
Yeah.
like Yegor Devin felt like a reach. Nolan Traore, like he's raw, so hopefully he works out. Drake Powell's a guy I like, but there's a lot of bust potential with Drake Powell.
Yeah.
Danny Wolf obviously is a guy you like. I don't really love him. Ben Serif is another guy like 5 first-round picks, and I'm not
Like
like
got 4 point guards.
bro. I'm not moved by any of them, you know. And when Brian Windhorst says that other teams were texting him, cracking jokes, saying like, "Look what Brooklyn's doing," then that's how you know you're the biggest loser of the draft, bro.
I was just like, watching those picks go by, I was like,
Bored.
you got Igor Demon, and I understand a little bit of the Nolan Traore thing, but why did you not pick up Rasheer Fleming or anybody else? I was like, this is super weird. Danny Wolf made sense to me. It did. But it's like, all the players that I really liked and really thought the star potential was there, you didn't even touch them. So I was wondering what you guys were seeing in Nolan Traore, Ben Seraf, and what's his name, Igor Demon?
Yeah,
I'm going to call him Igor Demon, bro. I'm sorry.
the demon.
But I was like, what? Yeah. But I was like, what are you seeing in them? That's like star potential because that's 3 guards, 3 or 4. Drake Powell I like, though.
As far as all my draft picks go, other than Drake Powell, they reached on every single one of them. As far as where I mock guys. So if I'm picking a loser, I'm picking them because if you reach on 4 or 5 picks, you're losing to me. You know, like especially when you have 5 picks, go out there and get a star. They're missing that pop. I mean, now they have Michael Porter Jr., who hopefully can be that, but I just feel like they're desperately needing that, like Robin now, I guess. And maybe Yegor Demon could be that, but that's the only one where I really could see that. And I like Drake Powell, but I don't see that role for him in Brooklyn where he could be that guy.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about some free agency stuff.
Here we go.
I didn't have an honorable mention for the loser, by the way, just because I really loved every other draft. But yeah, let's talk about some free agency. Let's talk about Miles Turner first.
Yeah.
I talked about this with Joseph a little bit earlier on the live show. Subscribe, hit the bell. But I don't even think we really even like texted about this. Like we didn't talk much about this.
I think we did in the group chat, but then like I think we were too busy trying to get information on it because it just seemed weird. So if you guys don't know, Miles Turner signed with the Milwaukee Bucks, and it shook everyone because it wasn't expected. And then we heard the reports, and apparently the Pacers offered him a 2 or 3 year, $60 million deal.
It was 3 years, $22 million annually is what I saw their highest offer was.
Yeah, which eventually led him to try to look for more money, and the Bucks said, "Hey, we'll give you $112 million."
We'll overpay your ass.
Yeah, so right when that deal goes in, we're thinking, where the heck are they getting the money from? Newsflash, they waived Damian Lillard.
Fuck.
What? I never thought in my life, when you saw that title come up, because I texted the group chat and you went, no way, that's gotta be fake. When you saw the title, what was your first thought? Were you like, is this a scam? Is this like stupid? Like, or is this like fake? What happened?
Bro, my first thought and what I compare it to, bro, is it feels like the Carmelo Anthony situation.
Oh, in Portland?
In Houston.
Oh, okay.
When Carmelo Anthony was cut from Houston, it kind of felt like they felt like he was the problem, so they cut him, and he didn't get a job for like a year. And I don't think Dame's gonna not have a job or nothing like that, just because I think his game is more modern, so he can play point guard anywhere, even if it's in a backup role. But to me, it just feels like Dame is taking the blame, and I think Giannis feels the same way, where he's like, I wanted Miles Turner, but like, why are we doing all this? You know, at what cost? But I thought of Melo instantly, bro, because I just felt like Dame got fucked over the same way Carmelo got fucked over. When Carmelo got cut, it was because of bad coaching. I feel like Damian Lillard is the same way. Like, when are we going to learn the Doc Rivers lesson, you know? So, like, if y'all want to make the money up, you'll pay your coach way too damn much. Fucking go get someone young.
That was... Well, what makes this even more embarrassing is...
Wait, did they fire Doc Rivers?
I don't think so. I didn't see anything on that. But what makes this even more embarrassing is it's not just that they waived Damian Lillard and that title Damian Lillard waived came up. It's the fact that now the Bucks owe Damian Lillard for the next 3 or 4 years $22 million. And correct me if I'm wrong, but now you have to worry about $22 million and try to even get below the second apron. That's really bad. You're giving up an empty $22 million. That's a lot of money. Like, that's worse than the whole Luol Deng situation with the Lakers, because I think we were giving him $8 million per year.
It's not even comparable, bro. I compare it to like Ty Lawson is still getting money from the Wizards.
How much is he getting?
Like $1 million a year, but still, like
I would
Ty
hate
Lawson.
that.
When was the last time Ty Lawson played basketball? You know,
Like 5-6 years ago.
Exactly. So I don't love it at all. But my question to you is, where do you want to see Dame go? Now, not where do you think he is the best fit, but where do you want to see him at, other than Lakers?
I honestly don't want to see him with the Lakers, only because I don't know how like that situation will play out. If he'd be like, I'm a starter, this and that, yada yada. I really want to see him in Miami.
Yeah.
I really want to see him in Miami. Like, for the longest time, Miami's been talking about wanting him, and like how I just see a point guard fitting that situation. And they've always needed a guy who could shoot. I wanted Kevin Durant to go to Miami, but if they could get Damian Lillard down there, point guard with Tyler Hero at the shooting guard, and I don't even know who the heck's going to be the 3. Whatever. Bam Adebayo at the 4, and then Kelly Ware at the 5.
Jaime maybe.
I don't know. They feel like they're even off Jaime at this point because they like Highsmith.
They don't love him, bro.
That's what I'm shook by. But if Dame can get down there to South Beach, I would be a fan.
I want him to go home, bro.
Portland?
I want him to go to Golden State. Where he's
from.
Oakland.
My bad.
I just think, bro, like, when everything that's happened with Dame in the last couple years with, like, he opened up about, like, being, like, I don't know if he said depressed, but going through it, not seeing his family while he was in Milwaukee and stuff. Like, I just think that this dude got fucked up. And I'm a Russ fan, right?
Yeah.
I hated Dame for so damn long. But, like, I also respect Dame as a person. He got treated like shit. You know what? You can't be the scapegoat every fucking time. Go back home. Do what you think is going to make... Like, Miami, I don't think would be a great basketball team, respectfully, with Dame next season, right? I think they're probably a 6-5 seed, which is cool, but it's not, like, what you want. Like, even if Golden State suck next year, at least Dame's at home.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Just go out there and be happy. And it would be fun to see Damian Lillard and Steph Curry on the same team.
Come to think of it, they probably wouldn't even suck too, because then you have Stephen Curry starting, and then switching in, you'd have Dame as your stinking backup point guard to Stephen Curry.
Or you play both, which you definitely can do.
I don't know if you play both, though, because then they're barbecue chicken on defense.
Yeah, they don't got the defenders around. Yeah. No more Wiggins over there. And Kuminga's probably gone too.
Kuminga's definitely gone.
They would definitely need a defender out there. But I think, I mean, if they can make it work, they can make it work. And fuck it, start both of them and put up 130 points a game.
And then lose by 30.
I'm about to score you, bro. Fuck it. Barbecue chicken. It's just sad because this Miles Turner thing should have been good news for Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And it just spiraled. It just flipped completely. But I do think the Bucks with Miles Turner is definitely, like, I feel like the Bucks haven't made a lot of moves. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why I still like this team a lot. Like, I just think you got Giannis, you have Miles Turner, you have they re-signed Gary Trent, they re-signed Kevin Porter, they re-signed Bobby Portis.
Yeah.
Like, they have a lot of cool guys, and you just give Giannis the ball. I
Yeah.
feel like they're kind of going with a simpler approach to basketball, and hopefully that turns into something. Now, do I think they need somebody else? I would love to see Cam Thomas over there. I would love to see Chris Middleton back there. I know I saw that they're talking to Brogdon, like guys like that, like maybe a veteran. But I do think they kind of need more of a one more punch type of guy.
I want them to go after Marcus Smart.
It would be cool too. It would be cool. Like I just think they need a little more, but I don't know why. I'm kind of like this team could definitely be a 4 seed in the East. Just because I trust Giannis. Giannis gonna get you that 4 seed at least.
Oh yeah, but like I'm just excited for the front court of Miles Turner and Giannis. I'm so excited for that, bro.
perfect.
Defensively, that's gonna be hard to mess with, and
Offense.
they got Miles Turner, a big that fits what they've been trying to get. A guy who can move his feet a little bit more, like be more mobile than Brook Lopez. Like he works and he's a shot blocker.
Yeah.
He's a floor spacing shot blocker. So, I mean, I look at him as a younger Brook Lopez for them now.
Yeah.
A younger one, except he's way more mobile than them.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Let's talk about some youth a little bit. Let's head over to Denver and Brooklyn, I
Okay.
guess. Let's talk about Michael Porter Jr., man. This Michael Porter Jr. to the Nets trade came out of nowhere.
That was crazy.
That was, honestly, I think the highlight of the offseason for me so far. Just because it's like, these are the trades that are fun. You know, I think similar to the Porzingis trade, right? But I definitely think Michael Porter Jr. could average 27 and 12 next season. Just on some bullshit, just fuck it, doing whatever he wants.
He's going to have a grand old time in New York, bro. In Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
He's going to have a grand old time. But it's going to be funny seeing him and Cam Thomas just shooting the heck
Yeah.
out of the ball once they get it. And then they're going to be doing that with their rookies. And their rookies, thinking about it now, you have Nolan Trey, Ben Saraf, Eeyore Demon, who are
Good
passers.
playmakers, yeah.
Yeah. So they could probably be getting some good direction on how to pass these great scorers too. So I think this is going to be a fun season for Brooklyn. Are they going to be winning a lot of games? Maybe. Are they going to get to the playoffs? No.
I'm not calling these guys great, but in Michael Porter Jr.'s NBA career, has he ever played with a great playmaker, point guard? Put that out there. Because Jokic, obviously. But, like, he's always played with Jamal Murray. Like, I want to see him in different...
Campazzo?
That's the best case. Like, Campazzo, Russ, like, Ish Smith,
Murray, Ish Smith. Wasn't there another guy?
Isaiah Thomas.
For a second.
Like, I don't think he's played with a good playmaking point guard, so I'm curious to see how he runs, like, pick and rolls, pick and pops with someone who's actually going to be looking for him rather than the shot first. And I think that could level up. Bro, he's going to average a lot of fucking points. He's going to be all-star next year.
And then I also kind of like Nick Claxton and Michael Porter Jr. being together.
It's a good fit, too.
I actually really like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
you have two centers now that can sub in. Well, you have three. You have Day'Ron Sharp, too, and Danny Wolf.
Yeah.
And Danny Wolf can play the four. So I think front court-wise, they have something interesting. With the backcourt, there's still going to be some stuff. But Drake Powell's going to be good there, too. He's going to be really good. So I think you keep Drake Powell and you just figure out your point guard or your guard situation.
Well, wait, I'm tripping. I don't know why I thought they still had Cam Johnson. But you could run, if Danny Wolf's ball handling transfers over to the NBA, you could run a lot of like Danny Wolf, Michael Porter Jr. actions.
Exactly,
which
bro.
would be very sick. But as far as Denver goes, I'm really liking what they're doing this offseason too. Now, a lot of people were acting like Cam Johnson's better than Michael Porter Jr. Let's just fucking stop it, right? Like, Cam Johnson's a great catch and shooter, but he ain't no Michael Porter Jr. with the ball. So I do think it's a better fit
Yeah.
for Denver. But I do think Michael Porter Jr. just moves off the ball so much better than Cam Johnson. And I like what Denver's doing, adding Bruce Bowen and adding Tim Hardaway Jr. and now having
Bruce Brown.
oh yeah,
He
I'm
said
tripping.
Bruce Brown. It's okay, though.
Who told me? Someone was talking about Bruce Bowen yesterday.
Maybe it was
I think it was
Joe?
Joseph.
Yeah.
Oh,
Spurs fan, bro.
but yeah, we got those guys, and then Day'Ron Sharp coming back next season too.
I'm
Like,
excited for that, bro.
they have a 9-deep roster now, which is something that they did not have not too long ago. So I think Denver is back, like officially back.
I'm just a little nervous on the point guard depth because the only other point guard they have, well, official point guard they have subbing in for Jamal Murray is Pickett, and the shooting guard depth good because I forgot it's not Bruce Brown starting. It's who is the shooting guard? Oh,
Christian.
it's Christian Braun, or wasn't he the three? I'm
Um,
not sure. No, Cameron Johnson's going to be the three. So, I mean, I think it's just the guard position that I think they need to address. But if they can get a Malcolm Brogdon, I'm instantly going to be like, yo, that's a top 3 team.
And I wouldn't even go as far as to say they need a backup point guard because Bruce Brown could play point guard. Like Bruce Brown's a good playmaker. So I don't know how much they really need it. But yeah, Brogdon puts his team over the top. And then Valanciunas is a guy that they got to watch for because they're saying Valanciunas wants to go back and play in the EuroLeague.
I was shook by that, man.
Which is definitely... I'd be pissed off if I was the Nuggets and I traded for
You
him.
traded for him, bro. Who did they... Oh, Dario Saric.
Which they didn't give him nothing for him.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'd be pissed. I honestly am okay if he leaves, though, because I want to see Deron Holmes play a lot of basketball next season. I don't know if they don't think he's like ready yet or something like that. But I want to see him play, man.
But, I mean, Deron Holmes could play the 4. That's why I was kind of excited about them getting Jonas Valanciunas because I was like, shoot, you just switched up Dario. They literally did straight up Dario Saric for Jonas Valanciunas. So imagine, finally, you would have a breath of fresh air for Jokic. He could get his, like, stinking first quarter of halftime triple-double, take a break for, like, stinking 7 minutes, and then you have Jonas Valanciunas come in with maybe Deron Holmes at the 4. And then if you're doing well, you're up by 20, you could just move Deron Holmes to the 5, sit Jonas Valanciunas, and then Nikola Jokic be sitting there drinking a beer or whatever, relaxing. Like, my team, up 40, we chilling. And then, like, Jamal Murray doing his thing. Like, I really saw, like, Jonas Valanciunas working there.
Yeah, I think so too.
I hope he doesn't retire. I hope he doesn't go because he's going back to Slovenia or
I don't know where it is, but I know it's in the
Greece. He's going to Greece to play professionally, but I would love him to stay with the Nuggets, bro.
If they rock out with their best case bench scenario, right? You got Valanciunas at the 5,
Yep.
Holmes at the 4, Peyton Watson at the 3, Tim Hardaway
Peyton Watson.
Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 2, and then Bruce Brown at the 1. Like that's solid. That's actually a very good 5, especially to be coming off your bench. And then you should have Pickett, Strother. Zeke Naji should be out of the league, respectfully. But
Don't disrespect Zeke. I like Zeke.
And then
I
go
like him.
of the channel, fucking Reese Beekman. So that team, that's a super team.
The
for
Golden
sure.
State Warriors legend right there.
Yeah, the Warriors legend Reese Beekman. Let's transition over to Al Horford.
There we go.
What you think about Al, Phil, as the Laker fan here?
So this is the guy that I want the Lakers to be targeting as the backup big. I know that maybe there is still a 50-50 chance he doesn't become a Laker or does, but I think that this is the backup big you want on your team. Like, if I'm any contending team right now, I'm calling Al Horford and trying to get him to come over. Like, Al Horford is a veteran. He's a proven player. He can play the 4 or 5. He's bothered players like Joel Embiid and Giannis, and that's a very, like...
The Embiid stopper for a couple seasons.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you can get a guy like that to be your backup or even starting the floor spacing interior defender, you go get him. But he is definitely a guy you could get for cheap, and he is so good. He rarely makes mistakes, too.
Yeah.
Like, name a mistake Al Horford has made in the past. Like, actually
You're
name, like...
testing my G because I do have a mistake Al Horford's made in the past.
Oh, for real?
Look, comment down below if you know the answer to this, right? Comment down below if you know the answer to this. And if you know trivia, join our Discord because we're doing our Discord trivia tournament. But the mistake Al Horford made, I believe this was a game against the Rockets. He blew by Capella, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he smoked the layup for the game.
Oh.
I want to say that was Horford. If I'm remembering,
It was when he was in Atlanta, right?
No, I believe.
Oh, it was with Boston.
Boston. First stint. in
I remember
Boston.
that. But low key, I don't want to say that's like a mistake that I was thinking, but he missed a wide open layup, so that is a mistake. But so technicality, yes. I was thinking more like he's gonna throw bad passes and he's gonna do it. He's gonna dribble the ball off his foot. I don't see him ever doing that. I see him once he gets the ball, he's either shooting it or moving the rock in the right direction. He's making the offense flow. And then right on defense, he's communicating. He's moving his feet. If he needs to switch on to Giannis, he will. If he needs to switch on to Brook Lopez, he will. If he, like, big dudes, he'll do that. Like, I think that even if he was going back to OKC, which I know it was a rough outing for you guys when you guys had Al Horford, but even if he were to come back to that team today, I feel like he definitely, like...
He plays winning basketball.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He plays the game the right way. He plays it safe. Again, I think the Lakers and the Warriors are the two teams in the front running. I would love... If I had to pick, I think the Warriors would be my pick for where I'd want to see him go. Just because I love the way he passes. And I think in that Warrior system, it'd be sick. We get to see less Draymond playmaking possessions, which would be nice. But I wouldn't hate him on the Lakers either. I think that would be great. Like, as the defensive side of the ball, I think that would be amazing. And even you could low-key start. You could run Luka, Reeves, LeBron, Horford, and Ayton. That's a good 5. So.
Oh, you mean put LeBron at the 3?
Yeah, you could.
I can't do it, man.
But you can do it. Like,
that's true.
You know? So, like, I think Horford probably shoots off the catch a little better than Rui.
I'm going to say that I love him in tough situations more than Rui. But Rui, once he gets that ball, I know you shouldn't look at stats because efficiently more, Rui is a better player. But to me, Rui, once he catches that ball and shoots it, I've seen him in a lot of games. I trust him. Now, do I trust him more than Al Horford, champion basketball player right there? Probably not, but...
Does Rui have a ring? Rui has a ring?
He has not a ring.
Damn.
I wish. Almost. If we had a stinking center in 2023, just a stinking center, we would have won.
I feel like when I watch Rui, bro, every time he catches it, he always puts it down once.
Sometimes, yeah.
That should be pissing me off, bro. I'm like, just fucking shoot the ball.
I know, but I low-key like it when he does
makes
that.
them.
Yeah.
I like when he creates, man. I don't like role player Rui.
I need 2023 Rui back.
I love when Rui creates. The last thing on the docket today, the Atlanta Hawks making big moves, bro. Adding Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Kennard, Asa Newell. Am I missing anybody?
I think that was pretty much it. I could have sworn they had somebody else, but then even when I was looking, I couldn't find anybody. Dang it, bro.
What?
Somebody picked up Maxime Reynaud next. Literally
Oh,
the next.
Gosh.
That's crazy. Anyways, my bad. Draft stuff. But the Atlanta Hawks look good, man. They look good. The fact that besides Trae Young, the rest of the roster is above 6'5" is unbelievable. Like, just like you said, because we were talking about playing 2K, and Anthony brought up a really cool point. He would start Nickeil Alexander-Walker at the 2, and then have Dyson Daniels come off the bench.
In 2K.
In 2K. But, in my opinion, what I'm thinking, that would be really cool to have in real life. It would be really cool. Because imagine you start off with Trae Young and Nickeil Alexander-Walker trying to get the offense started. They're either shooting the threes, creating, and then if they get into a jam, they're moving it to stinking Zachary Ricochet, Jalen Johnson, or Kristaps Porzingis. But then they get in trouble. The guards that they're trying to stop or guard start scoring. You sub in Dyson Daniels as the point guard with Nickeil Alexander-Walker still there. I think that would still be really cool.
Bro, to me, as a guy who's defending this guy all year, I'm so happy to see Trae Young finally have like a competent team again. And I do think that this team can make a conference finals run next season with Porzingis there. Onyeka's a guy I low-key want to see them move. I just think the experiment's over with. And I think you could probably get more value back for him than what you have, especially now that they have Asa Newell and Porzingis who could both play the 5. But yeah, I mean, Jalen Johnson's going to be back next season. He's going to be they're making these picks quick.
Chose Kevin Porter and Leonard Miller. What the?
Yeah, no, they're not taking rookies no more. But Jalen Johnson being there, being back next season gives him a legit number 2, and then Porzingis is also number 3. Like, you have a clear pecking order. You have guys who are gonna knock down open shots between Nickeil, Ricochet, and Luke. You have Trae Young, who I still think is probably a top 4 point guard in the NBA. I think I'd only take Shea, Luka, and Brunson over him. Like,
you wouldn't take Cade? Cade Cunningham?
No, I don't think so, bro.
I'm gonna take Cade over Trae.
Well, I just think we forgot. I didn't forget, but I think like NBA space forgot, bro, because Trae Young is that fucking guy. And being like a little guard in a system like that last season with not a lot of offensive help is so fucking tough. But Trae Young with a good team, with size, with defense, is fucking 28 and 12. He's gonna do that next season, bro. Like, and if they are a 57, 58 win team, like, we might have to have Trae Young MVP conversations next season. You know?
Again.
And I'm ready for
again
it because I can't stand y'all putting this man in conversations he doesn't belong in, bro. Because I love Cade Cunningham to death. I'm gonna talk about him on the Daily Show tomorrow. I have it booked for that. But Trae Young is just a different fucking animal, bro. A dude that will backpack you to the fucking conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is so nice, bro. He's like, he tricks y'all about Onyeka. Everybody wants Onyeka now. Onyeka's not that good, bro.
I think he's pretty good.
Hawks fans will tell you, though, that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Onyeka's cool, but, like, I just think Trae Young makes everybody so much fucking better at basketball. He made Dyson Daniels a good offensive player. Like, not a negative out there. So, going from, like, nothing, you know how I feel, bro.
I'm curious about Asa Newell because, once again, I thought he was 6'9", but he measured out to 6'11".
It's huge.
He's going to be able to learn behind Jalen Johnson. But a lot of Hawks fans, when I was talking to them, said that was one of the missing things that messed them up, like losing Jalen Johnson. So if you were to lose, and I hope this doesn't happen. I love Jalen Johnson. Duke Blue Devil to the day I die. But Asa Newell being able to come in, if he were to go out, take his spot, and literally do the same thing, that could probably help them stay where they're at. Because they were in the play-in. I mean, yeah, they were in the play-in. Or was it called the play-in? Play-in? Am I tripping?
Yeah, you good.
Playing playoffs.
You good. You got it.
I'm sorry, I'm tripping. I'm having one of those moments where it's like I'm having a brain fart, but it's
we
like,
recorded a little later than usual. You're good.
I'm thinking about the play-in tournament. That's why.
The play-in tournament. That's right. You're mixing up the play-in and the NBA Cup.
NBA. All right, so play-in. My bad. I don't know why that was so hard, bro. I was like, never mind. Anyways, if they can stay afloat with a power forward like this, that could probably help them get into like the top 6.
I'm gonna lock this in. They're a top 3 team in the East. I just think they're gonna win a lot of basketball games next year. Offensively, Trae Young's enough, but they have help now. Defensively, this team is an elite defensive team around Trae Young. Like, Trae Young is a cone, obviously, but if Trae Young comes out the game and you run Nikhil, Dyson, Jalen, Porzingis, Asa, that's stopping a lot of teams.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna give this team credit. I'm gonna give the Hawks Who's the Hawks GM? Is it a former player?
I forget. No.
Is it Landry Fields?
I don't think so.
Ansi Sala, but it was Landry Fields. Shout out Ansi Sala.
I think they fired Landry Fields.
Yeah.
Because of what happened last year, and then they were like, "All right, new guy," and he did a good job. Right when he heard that 2026 for future pick for that, just going back 10 spots, he was like, "Okay, no biggie."
Yeah, for real.
That's a good job by him though. But
they got a good coach. Quinn Snyder's a great coach.
One thing too, because did you want to add anything else about the Hawks?
Nothing.
We didn't really talk about the Pacers situation.
Oh, let's talk about it.
We didn't, because they lost Miles Turner, and we talked about like how that was weird, but we didn't really talk about what they're gonna look like.
Talk about it.
I think losing Miles Turner was a mistake because yes, Tyrese Halliburton, I'm very sad about that, is out. But I think the mission after that was to retain your players so that once he does come back, you can run it back. Because I know people are gonna be like, the run is a fluke, this and that. And it might be. It may or may not be. But they got there. That team got to the finals, and they were one game away from maybe upsetting the...
Damn near an injury away, bro.
Yes, an injury away from upsetting the Oklahoma City Thunder. Which is why I'm like, I think you do your best to keep Miles Turner. I know that maybe it would be an overpay, but the chemistry that team had, watching them operate, communicate, and attack the way they did, you do not want to lose that. You don't. So now, losing Miles Turner, maybe not having Tyrese Halliburton for the rest of the stinking season next year, all you have now is Pascal Siakam, Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard.
Nembhard's going to have a year, bro.
He's going to have to, bro. He's going to have to. And for all you fantasy basketball fans, you need to pick up one of those Pacers. Yeah. You need to pick up either Andrew Nembhard, Pascal Siakam, maybe even both. But now I'm like, what is the team going to look like? Because obviously Andrew Nembhard's going to be the point guard. And then you have Aaron Nesmith as the 3. And then you have Pascal Siakam as the 5 or the 4.
Right now I got Nembhard, Benny, Nesmith, Siakam, and Isaiah Jackson, who was pretty much hurt all last year. But he's a monster, bro. Mm-hmm. What I think they're doing is tanking next year. Mm-hmm. And they're going to find a center next offseason, which I think is fine. They're like, all right. Like, I'm curious if Tyrese was healthy, if they would have paid Miles Turner. Mm-hmm. I definitely could see that being the world because this team is like gonna be a 7th seed without Tyrese.
Yeah.
7th seed at max, bro.
I keep forgetting they're playing in the East.
You know, so I just don't. I don't see them competing. So it's kind of like, all right, well, we won't pay Miles Turner. Tyrese is gonna be on the burner. Let's tank this year. Maybe get a high draft pick, and we could draft a center.
Yeah.
Or we could draft a different guy and sign a center. And I like that approach. I'm not gonna lie. Like, why pay Miles Turner just to pay him?
They have 1 first-round pick. They own in 2026 for next year. They have 2 second-round picks for next year. 1 from the Memphis Grizzlies, but it's also a swap. And then the Toronto Raptors protected 31 through 55 second-round pick.
That's fine.
So I mean, is there a chance they could get AJ?
I don't know if they could get AJ, but if they pick in that like 7 to 12 range, I think you could draft a starting center there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you drafted like Common Malawach was in that range, Derek Queen was in that range, Sorber was in that range, like
Danny Wolf.
Danny Wolf. Yeah, let's say they had Sorber here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be mad at them for not paying Miles Turner?
No. If they got Sorber, I wouldn't be mad.
So let's say next year they probably could get a guy in that Sorber tier with their pick.
Mm-hmm.
They just punted, you know, and I think that's fine. That's my thoughts on it.
No, I get that. I'm just worried for them because it just sucks, bro. Because I was low key hyped and I forgot Obi Toppin too. Like he's a good player, so maybe they could go small ball with Obi at the 5 with Pascal at the 4. But I'm just like that injury. It's just crazy how much an injury can change everything.
Shook them up, bro.
Because they were in Game 7 with you guys, Game 7, and I mean, I'm not trying to like throw any shade or something, but like they were there, and it's just crazy that Tyrese isn't going to be there and Miles Turner isn't going to be there.
Yeah.
And it was a good team. Like their team chemistry was crazy. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because I'm like,
sorry.
No,
I know a lot of Pacers fans weren't happy with Miles Turner's performance in the entire playoffs, really, and in the whole season. And I know a lot of Pacers fans hate on Miles Turner before Tyrese got there too. So maybe that's why they just are thinking it's a product of Tyrese rather than a product of Miles Turner, which I realistically could see. So again, I'm not mad at them for making this move.
I'm not mad, crazy, because I can see why, like stats wise, and even like just the performance of being inaccurate and stuff led to that. But it's just like I don't know if I want to break up that chemistry, especially on how far I've gone.
That's true.
But I understand if you're looking at stats and like trying to see how long you have, you might have to let them walk. But now you're gonna have a season where.
Let me ask you this, right? I don't know the contract situation.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. But let's say they overpay for Miles Turner, and then they can't afford Nesmith, Benny, or some package of
or
that.
Toppin.
Yeah. Like I would rather have any of those guys as far as future goes than Miles. What do you think about that?
Honestly, putting it that way, they did perform really well in the playoffs for them,
Yeah.
and they came up big. Like. I like Turner. Like, I think he's a really good center, and I think he's what you need in today's NBA. But Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, T.J. McConnell, Benedict Mathurin, those guys stepped up right when they needed them to. Especially, a lot of them were unexpected times they stepped up in the playoffs. Like, when they got to that third round and even the finals. There were key shots that everyone made that Miles Turner didn't have a play in. So
these are the guys that they're going to have to pay eventually.
yeah.
Nesmith could get extended next year.
Yeah.
Benny, Jarris Walker, and Ben Shepherd are going to be free agents next year. I would probably take that core over Miles Turner. I think Benny they're going to let walk because I think Benny's going to get a stupid bag. But you could just tell they love Ben Shepherd. So I think they want to pay Ben Shepherd. I think they're going to want to pay Nesmith, who's going to be pricey. Jarris Walker I think will be a cheap deal, so I don't really think they're thinking about him.
Yeah.
And then you're obviously still got to have money to sign other guys, whoever you want, you know. So that's probably their thought process.
They are way below the first apron too.
Yeah.
They're $30 million below the first apron.
Damn.
So
They're gonna sign someone now.
But the question is who?
Brogdon. Bring him back.
Hey, bro, you want 30 mil? Shoot.
Well, I mean that's what the Rockets did with Van Vliet, and I know Van Vliet was better than Van Vliet was better than fucking Brogdon. But you got to, like, if you got the money, you got to pay somebody. You might as well do it, lock them down, right?
No, I feel you.
And maybe they just, like, didn't want to give that to Turner. But you could pay that $30 million to, I mean, there's no one really worth it anymore. But you could pay that to someone to just have him this year and not, like, sign him to a 5-year deal. But you could pay somebody $20 million to come play for you next year, you know?
I do like the idea now more of you talking about them drafting a center with that pick, because looking at this, if their plan really was just keep this core over just having Miles Turner, because then that 30 would have gone to Miles Turner, and they would have kept the squad, but then it's like you still have to extend them. So, yeah, maybe
And you got to sign Miles on a long-term deal if you sign him.
Yeah. So then you know what? Draft a center, come back, get 2 or 3 centers. That's what I do. 2 or 3 centers. Because TJ, you can't. I don't think you can get rid of TJ now. I think you keep him.
He's cheap. TJ's on a great
Exactly.
contract. 3 years, $30 million, pretty much.
I think you keep TJ. You keep Andrew Nemhard. You keep rocking with Tyrese, because that run he went on was unbelievable. Same with Pascal Siakam.
Go get Ben Simmons. I would love Ben Simmons there. You put Ben Simmons around shooters and have fun this year. And Ben Simmons could play the 5 next year.
Yeah, he's mobile. He
Go
seems
get
like
you
a
Ben Simmons.
he seems like a bad luck charm to me, bro.
He definitely
He
is.
seems like a bad luck charm.
But this team had bad luck already, dog.
No, they had Siakam luck right there.
It don't get worse than your superstar young point guard tearing their shit, bro.
Stinking Siakam calling on the gods, bro. The basketball gods.
That's what he did. But that's what we think about the Pacers. Comment what you guys think at home. Phil, let them know what else they need to do.
Yes, sir. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow Run the Play Network on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. Make sure to hit that bell as well. Please make sure to hit that link below as well, because we got Discord, we got trivia. At the end of the month, you could probably get paid, or you could probably lose to me, because I be answering them questions on the fly. But anyways.
You got it right today? You got the question today?
I almost did. I got it right, but somebody beat me to it.
Yeah.
I was so close, bro. He's better than all lowercase, that's why.
He did it quick as fuck. Like,
was
he
like, how do you
answered
know?
before I got the question out.
I was mad. I was like, you cheating. You probably told him. But anyways, that's how intense it gets in Discord. So hit that link below. I'm your man, Phil. This Ant-Man straight up the MCU. We out. Let's bounce.
Bounce, baby. Boom.